Hey, have you ever watched a rocket launch? Maybe you saw the space shuttle back in the day or a SpaceX launch recently. It is one of the most powerful things humans have ever built. When the countdown hits zero, fire shoots out, and within seconds, a massive, puffy white cloud covers the entire launch pad. It looks terrifying. It looks like a massive explosion of smoke and pollution. But what if I told you that the giant white cloud isn't smoke at all? In fact, if you walked through it and didn't get burned, it would feel just like a sauna. That massive cloud is almost entirely water. It sounds crazy, right? We associate rockets with fire and dangerous chemicals, but there are actually two main reasons why this happens. One comes from the rocket itself, and the other comes from the ground. Let's break them down. The first reason lies inside the rocket's fuel tank. To understand this, we have to look at what powers most modern rockets, like the Space Shuttle's main engines or the new SLS rocket. Rockets need to be light but powerful. The most efficient fuel we have found is liquid hydrogen, and to make it burn, we need liquid oxygen. Now let's look at the chemistry. It is actually very simple. When you mix hydrogen, H2, and oxygen, O2, and light them on fire, they bond together. Do you know what the result of that chemical reaction is? 2H2 plus O2 creates 2H2O. It's H2O, pure water. Because the fire is so hot, this water comes out as superheated gas or steam. But as soon as it hits the cool air outside the engine, it condenses into that massive white puffy cloud. So the main engine of the rocket is basically a giant steam machine. It's the same reason you see white puffs from cars in winter, but on a much, much bigger scale. But the engine isn't the only source of the cloud. There's a second reason, and this one is about survival. When a rocket ignites, it creates a sound, a very loud sound. The noise is so loud that the sound waves actually carry physical force. If we didn't do anything, these sound waves would hit the concrete ground, bounce back up, and hit the rocket. The vibration would be so strong it could actually shake the rocket apart or destroy the delicate electronics inside. So engineers created a solution, the water deluge system. Seconds before the rocket ignites, huge towers around the launch pad, sometimes called rainbirds, dump nearly 400,000 gallons of water onto the launch pad in less than a minute. When the rocket fires, the exhaust hits this massive pool of water instead of hard concrete. The water absorbs the sound energy and the heat. And what happens when 1,000-degree fire hits a pool of water? Instantly, it turns into steam. So a huge portion of that smoke cloud you see at the bottom is just the launch pad water boiling away to save the rocket from its own volume. Now, I have to be honest with you. There is an exception. Remember I said most of the cloud is water? Well, it depends on the type of rocket. Some rockets, like the side boosters on the Space Shuttle, use solid rocket fuel. Solid fuel is different. It uses things like aluminum powder and ammonium perchlorate. When these burn, they do create chemicals like aluminum oxide and hydrogen chloride. This actually is smoke. It's not transparent like the steam. It looks more gray or brownish. So if you look closely at a launch, the bright, fluffy white clouds, that is water and steam. The darker, thinner trails, that might be actual chemical smoke. But for the most part, especially with modern liquid-fueled rockets, what you're seeing is cleaner than the exhaust from your car. So the next time you see a rocket blast off, don't think of it as a smoke bomb. Think of it as the world's most expensive steam generator. It's a mix of basic chemistry, hydrogen meeting oxygen, and clever engineering to stop the sound from breaking the ship. If you want to know more about space or how engines work, let me know in the comments. You can subscribe if you learned something new today from this video, and share this with a friend if you want.